welcome! Today I want to talk to you about a couple things. Number one is that I am switching from my very first smartphone ever, this one, to an iPhone 4S. And this is kind of a big thing for me because it's change and it's different, and there's a lot of things about iPhone that I like, but there's a lot of things about this thing that I like. Why can't they be merged into a fusion so I don't have to change? I don't know. Anyway, that's happening. And because that's happening, I'm going through my phone because there's some things that just aren't going to transfer. Like I have a notes thing. I didn't have Evernote like an idiot, so I have an old just like a note tab kind of thing where I jot down ideas for things and stuff like that. Which is a really good idea in general, except that I tend to not go back and look at it until I'm writing a new note, which kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, I went back through it today because I'm not going to have this phone anymore. So I wanted to make sure there wasn't anything important that I needed to write down. And what I found was some notes that I wrote while I was doing market research one day, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically where you go into like a little research building and they pay you in some way and they take you back and it's like food or giving your thoughts on, I don't know, a display of some kind, marketing, something where a company wants to know what people think of it. And it was interesting. I got to try, I think, some sandwiches from a fast food place that were really good because, you know, everyone's going healthy. But anyway, as I was waiting in the lobby, long story, blah. As I was waiting in the lobby, there's a little TV and it kept playing little fun facts. And so I thought maybe you guys would want to read them today, or hear them rather. So here they are. Number one, your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks to prevent from digesting itself, which is kind of cool. I personally like the human body and all the things it does, and I know that's maybe a little gross, especially since the word mucus, but I think it's kind of cool. So that's the first one. The second one is that spinach consumption rose 33% after the Popeye comic came out in 1931, which is kind of cool, right? Popeye helping boost spinach consumption. I mean, that's good for America, I think we make spinach. I'll have to Google that. But if we do, then good for America, and it's good for, just, I don't know, people that need vegetables. It's good, like, there's a lot of protein in spinach and stuff, so good for you, Popeye, at least on that note. I think there's probably a little bit of racism and other stuff in there, but whatever, it was the 30s. We're clearly a better race of people by now. Next one. It takes 7 seconds for food that you eat to go from your mouth to your stomach. That's kind of cool. How do they time that? I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stomach. Also, dynamite can be made with peanuts. Cool. I don't know how, but that's kind of neat. I kind of want to Google that. I think I did at the time. I was like, what? Yeah, and it's a real thing. So, got that going for you. Snails can sleep for 3 years without eating. That might be true, but I don't know how long they can go without getting stepped on. Like, where do they sleep at? Is there like a snail bed? Snail bed. I'm dumb. Anyway, next one. Ketchup was sold as a medicine in the 1830s. That is interesting, because in the early 1900s we sold heroin. So, how medicine has changed. I find that the things that we used to do, like, okay, every time you think of a technology that we have, years ago, whenever it was, or maybe not so long ago, whenever it was first being developed, if it's a truly like new technology, like a computer, like there just wasn't a thing before like that, or internal combustion engine or something, like, I think it's so interesting the way that people sort of sat there and just tried different things. And today it's like, oh, well, I learned about this in first grade. That seemed ridiculous. But no, like, they had nothing to go on. So cars used to run on just pure alcohol. They did. And the idea was that the farmers could make their own alcohol and they would be able to make their own fuel for their cars. Just that's literally what Henry Ford wanted. And then the whole prohibition, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's kind of cool what things used to run on. It's interesting. So to think of ketchup being a medicine, like, I mean, who are you to tell them no? Like, they don't know. They didn't have French fries back then. It was just ketchup. The popsicle was invented by an 11-year-old and was a secret for 18 years before he did anything with it. That's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's not exactly a crazy concept by any means. It's just, as something's freezing, stick a stick in it and then there you go, and just instead of water, make it Kool-Aid and bam, popsicle. But like, it's the same thing with a lot of art. It's not that it's something crazy that no one could ever do, it's that no one has done it yet, and that's interesting. Okay, well, my battery's about to die, so that's all the interesting things. But also, since I'm switching to the iPhone, if you guys could do me a huge favor and just tell me what you like about the iPhone. Specifically, I mean, I know how it works, so just maybe the apps. Like, which apps do you prefer? What do you like? And what do you think is really cool? Help me out. And the other thing, if you have any interesting facts like that, post those. That'd be really cool. Alright, adios!